In the 16 years of Battle for Dream Island's existence, there have been thousands of recommended characters. Recommended characters are characters that were recommended by viewers, if that isn't obvious enough. In Season 1, Episode 17, it is revealed that 30 characters have been handpicked by Jack and Jellyfy to join Season 1. The characters are all pretty generic, either objects or non-objects. They all have a gimmick or few. But one stood out. Well, not exactly. This is Saw. She's the fourth to last character picked for the debut, and appears to be, well, a saw with a brown wooden handle. In her gimmick, she shows that she is cutting woody. Nothing too bad about it, honestly. However, in BFDI 18, she only gets 2 votes, tying with a few other characters, and failing to join the show, and she is sent to the locker of losers for the rest of Season 1. She doesn't appear until BFDIA 1, where she fails to join the season, getting the third least votes just above Bottle and Bracelety, and she has received 36 votes. Not enough to join. She is split from the main cast, and after all the new rules, she still does not make it into the game, and is sent to the LOL for the rest of the season yet again. With the second least and third least amount of votes in both debut votes, she has definitely seen some better days, and that does not help with the IDFB votes either. Battle for Dream Island Season 3 is known as IDFB, and basically, the entire point of the season is vote to free someone from the LOL. Currently, there is only one episode of IDFB, being IDFB 1. BFDIA has finished, and we are currently waiting for Teapot 23, 24, and 25 to wrap up. Saw briefly appears in the episode just behind Rabadi, and is put up for voting. After many years of waiting, I do think we have the actual results already, and it's not looking good for Saw. Actually, looking at the results, she does surprisingly well. She doesn't place in the bottom 2 or anything, actually. She places 19th out of 40 contestants, placing lower than Robati, Barfbag Eraser, and a few others. She receives 244 votes, which isn't enough to join, compared to Matcher's 3,794, which allows her to join. But Saw actually might have a really good chance. But there's an issue. IDFB was cancelled, and there's been 2 more seasons after it. And Saw has appeared in both those seasons, and her popularity doesn't look too good. But BFB is a huge change for Saw, and I think you know where I'm going with this. BFB, or BFDI Season 4, is the first season where all the IDFB characters / LOLers finally get to compete after many years, including Saw. Saw is put onto one of the most controversial teams in the season. 8 names, Blair, or, whatever you like to call it. Personally, I call it 8 names, so I'm just gonna call it that for the rest of the video. Saw seemingly is friends with Gady, so she joins Gady's team, alongside Lollipop, Teardrop, Book, Dora, and a few others. However, BFB1 is quite interesting for her. Taco leads 8 names into a huge oven to find the basket. Unfortunately, most of her team isn't exactly heat-proof, leading to Saw losing her handle, and Dora to be the only other contestant left. Luckily, they snatch immunity and avoid elimination. Just barely. The team finds itself in a bad position in BFB2. The challenge is to lick someone out of a jawbreaker. Last team to do so will be put up for elimination. With Saw and Dora being the only members, it might seem hard. But shockingly, Dora pulls through and gives them immunity. Many more 8-named members appear out of other jawbreakers except for one. Taco. This will be the start of one of the most important arcs in the season. The team faces itself another hard challenge in BFB 3, spin around 50 times. Taco is still in the Jawbreaker, and people are basically mocking her, although they don't know she's there, even if the Jawbreaker is somehow right next to them. With a few inspiring words from Saw by accident, Taco is freed. However, Saw claims that Taco is still dead to her in her eyes.
Great, now I have to throw away my eulogies. Thanks a lot, Taco.
I'm keeping mine. In my eyes, they're still valid!
This means that currently, Saw is on Book's side and against Taco. Saw fades into the background for basically the rest of the season, until a very important event in BFB 8. When Donut declares 8-Ball is eliminated, 8-Ball is crushed by Earth and the Moon by Donut turning gravity back on. He becomes some sort of fume that Saw inhales. This causes an annoying gag.
Oh, this one's easy! It's glue! 8.
You heard her right. 8. Luckily, they still complete the challenge. However, this gag never goes away. I swear to God, it has been years and it's not gone. Okay, I might be getting a little angry here. And that's because I've never really liked Saw as a character. However, she still fades into the background for the rest of the season. She does get a new handle, I guess. However, 8 Names is up for elimination for the first time very late into the season. Ice Cube is safe, Teardrop is safe, and Saw is also safe. People get happy thoughts when they're safe for this elimination, and Saw's dream is she sniffs a funny plant and the fume goes away.
This is great.
And that's really it for 8 Names this season. They go in, go up for elimination once, lose Dora, and that is it. Saw doesn't really get involved in the arc, and she does swap sides like a bunch of other people towards Taco's side. But then we reach the split, and Saw decides that she will go with 2 and join Teapot. In Teapot 1, she sticks with Gady for the team and abandons Book. Her and Gady team up with Coiny, Pin, Donut, Needle, and Barfbag, and form
Teammates!
Teammates does relatively well in Challenge 1 and Challenge 2. However, Challenge 3, they fail. Their restaurant is destroyed, and they are put up for elimination. Something important to note definitely has to be the fact that this season is vote to save, meaning you have to be popular to survive. When you're put onto a team with popular characters such as Donut, Needle, Coiny, Pin, and Barfbag, there's not much of a chance you really get to shine. And Saw is the perfect example of this, as unfortunately, in a bottom 2 against Donut, with a gap of 8 votes, Saw is the 3rd contestant eliminated from the season, currently placing 43rd overall, only barely beating out Pie and Foldy, who are 45th and 44th. And that's the last we see of Saw for many, many years. Until Teapot 22, the most recent episode. In Teapot 22, she appears very briefly after her elimination. She talks to Foldy, gets brutally murdered by Cloudy by accident, gets recovered by Foldy, has a little talk with Teardrop, jumps out of a window, and yeah, flies into the sky along with the other Teapot eliminated contestants except for Puffball and the Exiters and all the others. So what am I getting at here? Saw fails as a character. She needs development. The 8 gag makes a lot of people, including me, really hate her. She underperformed in Season 1 and 2's votes, barely scratches the surface in IDFB's vote, does almost nothing in BFB, and gets eliminated instantly in Teapot. I think they should really let her be herself in future Teapot episodes, possibly before the rejoin, allowing her to have a good chance compared to characters like Puffball or Foldy. Maybe let her find out that Gady got deleted. Gady is Saw's best friend. Who else does she have? Taco, she's currently in a random area. I like the idea of her being good friends with Foldy, but there was no build-up to it. Even if she replaced Donut and Teapot, she wouldn't do anything. What would she do? Talk to Book? Well, newsflash, Book is almost certainly done for. Taco and Lollipop have no chance of joining Teapot. Gaty's out of the timeline. Donut's dead. She never really connected with anyone on Teammates. She has Teardrop, but Door is somewhere. And it's just really annoying to see this character get thrown away. Anyway, thank you for listening to my first ever BFDI character analysis about Saw, because I just thought she needed one. Bye.